and welcome to my channel. My name is Christina, and today I'm going to share a bit about the collective energy during this eclipse season. I have pulled here some oracle and tarot cards. I will show the picture of the cards so you can connect with them. Before I get into the message, what I want to say is that after we had the new moon in Leo and the solar eclipse on the 12th of August, it can be a bit challenging because eclipse season is about letting go. It's about transformation with this energy with Neptune retrograde in Aries, Saturn retrograde in Aries. With this energy, what I'm getting is that things are being illuminated. So, for example, if there are some habits that we want to break, or if there are some challenges in a relationship or in our career, in our job, things are going to be more exaggerated and everything that is challenging is coming to the surface in order for us to see what still aligns with that or not. Because with the Saturn in Aries and Neptune retrograde in Aries, it's not necessarily a time to take action, but to review our hopes and dreams, to review our goals that we had in the last couple of months, and to see if they still fit to our new personality. Hmm. And because there have been huge shifts, we've had the 8-8 Lionsgate portal, solar eclipse, had huge astrological events. This can take a toll on our emotional body, and our physical body, and mental body as well, because there are, what can I say? So there are fine tunements and alignments. So because this frequency can be very high, it can manifest in the physical and emotional body. We have right now a lot of fire energy, so much fire energy and air energy as well. So this can be challenging, intense. This can indicate like manic energy, insomnia, having a hard time sitting still, having a hard time to relax, to sleep. It's indicating of a restless energy. I also actually pulled this card, the restless energy. And she has a beautiful red dress. So, red is the color of passion, of love, creativity, but can also be about power and aggression. So, yeah, there are some challenges, energies. Things can feel a bit restless, especially in the collective, especially if you're watching the news or you're very tapped in into the collective. This can feel quite overwhelming. Many people feel very angry right now, so there could be anger around the injustices that are happening in the world and in the personal life as well. So what can help balance is an opposite energy. I highly suggest using the water frequency to help heal, help attune this energy. Mm. I do see here that there are a lot of images that indicate a river, spring, sea, any body of water that can help to recharge, to cleanse our energy, and to feel a sense of renewal, feel replenished. I see here that the first card is the harvest moon, rest after labor. So for some of the females that are listening, it indicates birth. So it's very beautiful energy. Um, Congratulations if you are now a new mother. Yeah, rest after labor. For some of us in the collective, this can indicate working hard for a project, for a business. Maybe you've been working on a book or on a project, or you've been studying for an exam, you've been studying to go to school. So anything that you've been working on, especially if you've been working on for like a longer time, like 8, 9 months, this indicates that you've been very like focused towards your goal, and now it's time to rest. So the last couple of days of the Leo season are about integration of what we've been um, shown on a personal level and in a collective level, and it's about integration. Usually, the new moon indicates manifestation, starting something new, but with the solar eclipse and with this energy, it's not necessarily about starting something new, but it's about taking some time for ourselves before we start taking more action. I really love the next card. It says relaxed energy, and it's with the black moon. We recently had the full moon. It's called the black moon. We had it in Capricorn in July. So with the relaxed energy and also with organize the mind, if you get a chance to take a social media break, that can be very helpful and very healing for the nervous system. There have been some studies about how the internet and social media interferes with the nervous system, and it can bring this restless and challenging energy. Um, you know, especially like this energy can shorten the attention span, can bring challenges, worries, and anxieties, even though maybe in your personal life and around you everything is going well and you have nothing to fear. When you tap in too much in social media, you might get more fearful or stressed. So this is calling to focus. I see that with the relaxed energy, she's doing hand mudras. So she's focusing her attention towards the third eye. We see the intuition card and self reward. So this is about how can you offer the same wisdom to yourself. I see here the all energy. So this is about how can you show yourself the same love and compassion when you withdraw, especially if you're an empath, you're a clairvoyant, if you have these spiritual gifts, you need time to recharge, to spend time in nature, to just do the things that fill your cup in order to be able to be helpful towards your family, your friends, the collective. So let's hear. When I look at, I pull also some cards around the chakras, and I see there is an activation of the throat chakra. You can use blue, blue foods, or you can dress with something blue to help clear the throat chakra. So, not being afraid to speak up, to share your gifts, to say what you want to say, to express your thoughts and desires easily. If this is unbalanced, we have a difficult time sharing our thoughts, or we might be afraid of public speaking or feeling anxious in social situations. So, with the throat chakra, it can help to find someone or meet a friend that you trust and share what's on your mind. And also, if you feel guided to share yourself, to share your thoughts and feelings on a platform, you can do that. No one's gonna judge you. And if they're gonna judge you, it's none of your problem. It's not about you. So it's about speaking from the heart and sharing your truth. Because when you share your truth, when you share your story, it's very healing. It's very healing for others and it's very healing for yourself as well. I also see the sacral chakra activation. This is the opposite of the throat chakra and it can help balance. So they balance each other. It says that when this chakra is balanced, we feel able to express our desires and are energized by our own creativity and ability. So, with the sacral chakra, what can be very helpful is to connect to joy through our body. So, this could mean your favorite sport, going to the gym, or something that's more fun, like dancing, going hiking, things that you love to do, things that you enjoy to do. Sacral chakra is about creativity. It's also about love, just expressing what you want and what you love to do. When this chakra is unbalanced, we lack confidence and we feel very bored and numb. So, the way to enhance the sacral chakra is to do things that we love to do and follow the joy. And remember also that where joy flows, money flows as well. So, when you do things from the frequency of love, you attract abundance. I've been feeling very connected to the fairies lately. I've been going fairy spotting in my city, like traveling to different parts of the city, wandering around, and just going to different parks, but also admiring flowers in the various gardens around the city. And I feel that the fairy energy can be very beautiful. Fairies reminds me of the whimsical of the inner child. I My understanding is that the Leo energy is connected to the inner child and the Aquarius energy is connected to our second chance at childhood. Right now we have South Node in Leo and North Node in Aquarius. So this can indicate that. Yeah, I think I said it in the previous video, but I'm gonna say it again. I saw a meme that I really love, and it said that all roads lead us back to childhood. And I trust that. So, giving you like a short personal story, I used to look at a catalog, which one of it was in English and the second one was in German. And none of them are my first language. But anyway, I just look at that huge catalog with art and I kept looking at it and kept dreaming about it. And I didn't realize that once I became an adult, I kept starting collecting art supplies. And then I realized that it was my inner child that really wanted to manifest itself and be creative and be artistic. So that's what I've been doing lately. And it's very beautiful and special. And also like reading books, playing a video game, nothing like, this is not silly and this is actually very productive. Like, what is productive? Like we've been having the Pluto in Capricorn for so many years, and it's just like very serious energy. Let's be productive, let's get on top at work and career, and this can be very draining for many of us. So it's very important to connect to that whimsical energy, to that inner child energy, because it can be very healing. And also, while we connect to those parts of ourselves that felt vulnerable, we can get empowered so we don't seek so much validation from other people who are shallow or don't really care about us. Michael Jackson reference. So yeah, um, what was I saying? Yeah, so when we connect to that part, we remember our qualities, our strengths. We can also get like really good original ideas when we are authentic and we focus on that energy. We are able to connect to our soul family, people who resonate with us at a soul level. So there are only positives that are going to come from this. It can be challenging in the beginning, especially because um, for some of us who've had challenging childhoods, it can bring up grief. There could be a lot of grief in the collective. Yeah, I was thinking about Uranus in Gemini. Gemini is connected to the lungs. So if you have maybe some troubles breathing, try to spend time in nature, try to spend time near a body of water. You can put a hand on your heart and say loving things to yourself, and maybe journal, talk to someone, express that grief, because there can be a lot of grief that comes to the surface after, it can be rage and anger as well, but after if it subsides, it starts with showing the grief. um yeah, so the inner child, if the as a child, some of us, felt sad or neglected or just couldn't fit in, that child can feel a lot of sadness and can feel abandoned, by us, especially if we only focus on productivity. So yeah, um, inner child work, shadow work is challenging, but it can be very, very rewarding. So going back to the cards, I'm looking at this very beautiful, whimsical cards that are connected to the fairies. So the first card I see is ask for help. So if you are going through something, if you're going through a breakup, separation, or just grief, you know, with this retrograde energy, for some of us, there are memories coming back. There are memories coming back to the surface, and it can bring so much anger and upset and resentment. So if you feel like that, you don't have to carry this alone. If you share it with someone that you can trust, it's gonna help you to unburden. So ask for help. It says here, angels and celestial beings who protect everyone and the fairies say now it's time for you to ask for angelic assistance. So call in Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Raphael, call in the angels, the fairies, connect to your higher power, spirit, the universe, however you'd like to call it, to give you some comfort and also show you what would be the next step, who can you help. Because when we connect with someone who is in a high frequency, they are able to channel spirit and bring uplifting energies. So don't be afraid to ask for help. I see that for some of us, there are friends that we're gonna meet, strangers who will become friends. Um, it says here, fairies and humans alike need friends. Now is the time to seek out those who will support and encourage you on the journey to fulfill your dreams. So this is very, very important. I would rather, personally, I would rather be alone than have friends that don't really support me because, we usually are influencing each other. It's not only on us. So when we have friends that are gonna clap for us, are gonna be happy for us when you succeed, and they're also like ambitious or they have a certain lifestyle that you also like, it's gonna influence you. One thing I wanna say is that it's best not to take advice from someone that you not wanna switch lives with for a day or a couple of days. Like if you wouldn't want to switch life with that person, you don't want their advice because people can give good advice, but they might not apply it in their lives, and it's just not helpful. So yeah, so I do see that um, it's a good time, if you wanna maybe join an art class or a gym, or you wanna book a trip. Even though you might book a trip alone, you might meet friends on that trip. So if you go out of your comfort zone and join a club or community, some classes, you might meet people that are on the same frequency as you and you can become friends. So that's very wonderful and it's very beautiful. The next card is manifestation. So be very honest and clear about what you wish to manifest in your life. Now, write it down on paper. Manifestation, step one. So, journaling can be very helpful. If you feel very upset or very angry at people from your past, you can write them a letter, but don't send them to them. Um, just write down any fears and resentments you have, and then you can focus on the manifestation, what you want to bring in. Um, the next card is nature's signs. Be receptive to the subtle messages from nature as you go about your day. Nature talks to us continuously. We need only to open our hearts and our minds. So, when you go out to the park or when you go to the grocery store, on your way to the grocery store, just pay attention to the animals around you, to the flowers, to nature. If you see birds, butterflies, just look at the signs you have around you because nature always talking to us, and there could be some significant messages that are going to be shown through nature. The last one I really like, it's called Look in a Book. So whatever your question is right now, you'll find the answer in a book. The words you find will bring the insight you seek. One thing that I like to do is I like to go to a library, and I might have a question or a topic I want to study, and I ask Spirit to guide me towards the right book, and it just never fails me. But I also do that with my own library. Like I have a question, I have a topic that's heavy on my mind, and I'm being led to a certain book or just to open it randomly, and it's not random, like exactly where I open it, there is a message I need to hear. So it can be very interesting and very relevant. I also think that if we spend some time reading, especially before bed, we can settle our minds. Our minds can be very receptive, especially the first hour when we wake up and the hour before we go to bed. Our minds have the theta frequency. So this is a way where we can, reprogram our mind. So in the morning and before night, if we listen to like positive affirmations, you could record your own positive affirmation if you like, or read something that is helpful, that is uplifting. We're able to create what we want to create in our lives. So that's why it's very helpful to not scroll, to not be on the phone, especially in the morning and before bed, because in that way we can have this energy solely for ourselves, for our dreams, for what we want to manifest. We can be more critical thinkers, we can have more ideas, because now like attention span is the most important frequency, and they're trying to steal it from us, as you know. So yeah, I've been, I'm not perfect around that, but like I've been working towards it. I've been working towards reading more and spending less time on the phone. So yeah. So I also pulled some tarot cards, but before I get into the tarot cards, I wanted to say something, that sometimes the spiritual community is not very empowering. So, you know, if you are listening to my message, or if you listen to other people who share about astrology and tarot, it's very important to use discernment, because when we look at too many people, where we listen to too much advice, it can be challenging to integrate that. So, what I'm channeling is that integration can be very helpful. So, one way I like to integrate is after I listen to a message, I like to take some time to see if this resonates with me or not. So, taking a break between consuming this sort of media can be helpful. And also to remember that um, I am the one who is the leader in my life. Like, I am the spiritual leader in my own life. I am the expert. No one is the expert. Um, when it comes to spirituality, like, God is within me. I have the divine spark within me, and I have a direct channel between me and a spirit. So, something that has been challenging for me and also others is that sometimes when I go towards, the spiritual side, there are people who are looking just to make a profit out of it, or they're looking for power. And I'm, suspicious of someone who thinks they have all the answer, or they're trying to control and things like that. And yeah, I noticed that for me it's very important to trust myself, listen to my intuition. So if any of this doesn't resonate, that's perfectly fine. Um, I noticed that for me it's very important to, take breaks, take a break from healing and things like that, because, you know, when, if, for example, if you tend to listen to too many podcasts, or you read too many self-help books, this can tell the body and the mind that we are not good enough. There's something wrong with us. And that's just not true. That's completely not true. Like, we're okay, the others are okay. It just, and we know the answers. Like, yeah, the strong message that I'm getting. Like, you know what you have to do. Like, if you know you have an issue, like in your relationship, romantic relationship, or work, like, you don't need a stranger to tell you what to do because you know exactly what to do. And that's why I think sometimes the internet can be a toll on our trusting ourselves. So one way to build trust in ourselves is to keep up the promises we make to ourselves and be mindful about that. So yeah, let's share about the tarot cards and we're gonna wrap this up. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Yeah. So I see here the first card is the Hermit and the Eight of Cups. So the Hermit is connected to Virgo energy. We're gonna step into Virgo season in a couple of days. And it seems like she's looking at fireflies and she's discovering something. She has a light near her. She's surrounded by spirit energy. She's in the dark, but she's surrounded by spirit energy and she can see it clearly. So, with the hermit energy, it's about connecting to ourselves. Um, Sometimes the best way for a Virgo or for our Virgo placements is to be by ourselves, connect to our inner light, do things that we love to do. Like, for example, if you love to watch TV shows, play video games, whatever you like to do, read books, that would be a very good time for us to do that, especially because the mind can feel very, very overactive. The news can feel overwhelming. So when we can detach a little bit from this and trust that spirit is handling it and we don't have to carry the world on our shoulders, we can connect to these small practical things, practical hobbies that are going to help us and are going to help us recharge. With the Eight of Cups, oh my gosh, when I look at this, I just feel emotional because for some of the people in the collective, this could be, you know, just moving away from something that doesn't serve us. So if someone has recently stepped away from a job, from a relationship that they've invested in for quite some time, it can feel challenging. There are some, cords between us and these past situations, and it can feel very challenging. Yeah, especially if we've invested a lot of time and love and energy, it can feel very challenging to walk away. Um, but you know the answer, like you already know. Like if you have a question in mind about what you have to do, you already know. So don't ask me. You know the answer. You're the expert of your life. Yeah. The next one is the Queen of Wands. So she's the Queen of Fire. Hmm, I see she's connected to Freya, goddess, to the Northern goddess. She has some fire runes on her. So you can look at the runes as well. She has a clove. She's very lucky. She's connected to her inner fire, to her inner desires. So when we spend time with ourselves, when we detach, we can get insight to what we really want to do. I also see here the magician. So after we spend some time with ourselves and heal and connect to our inner fire, we'll be able to focus on what we want to do. And the magician has all the tools needed. So, like, for example, if you want to start, a YouTube channel, or if you want to write a book, or just do anything, you don't have to prepare, you don't have to study more. You just need to know that you have all the tools necessarily to do what you want to do. I see here also with Eight of Wands, this can be restless energy. She's very connected to the animals. She spends time in nature. It seems like she's connecting to her wild self, wild feminine energy. She acknowledges her unique, complex gifts. She's taking care of of herself. She spends time in nature. The next card I see is the wheel. So the wheel of fortune. I see there's a woman who's pregnant. So if you're looking for that, it's a fertile energy. The wheel brings the Dharma. The wheel is about gathering the blessings, especially with the Virgo season, which is also like the harvest season. So, yeah, I can see here the Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords is like the Ice Queen. So for some of the women in the collective, because of betrayal, from a man who was immature, some of us have closed our hearts towards love, like we don't want to hear about it, or we've lost hope. Um, and I see the Queen of Swords and the King of Pentacles. So if there's woman here who felt they lost hope in love, you might get a surprise when you least expect it. The King of Pentacles. So this is a masculine that is secure, likes to provide, likes to protect, takes care of the feminine energy. And I see here the Two of Pentacles, and this is about healing, especially healing the feminine side, and the Ace of Cups. So this could mean love, love coming in our lives. It also means to remember to fill your own cup before you try to be of service or be helpful towards someone else. And I also see the sun. So sun is connected to spirit. Also getting the song, it's always darkest before the dawn. So for some of us, there have been some challenging aspects recently, especially on the emotional side. There have been some heavy, heavy emotions that we had to deal with. We had very, very challenging Mercury retrograde in July. Yeah, yeah, it's challenging and it can be painful, but we're gonna go over it. You know, what is down must come up. So with the Wheel of Fortune, this talks about things are gonna get better. So it's important to stay positive, stay optimistic, stay grateful, trust that things are gonna get better. I see new friends coming in. Three of Cups indicates celebration, meeting with friends, doing things that we love to do, to celebrate. So trust that things are going to get better. Yeah, it's been such a joy to record this. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you enjoy the rest of the summer, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.